credit is not a bad thing. You know, everyone needs help at certain points. And if you're just sort of punished for it, or you know, you have to pay more because you actually have less, there's just a basic unfairness there. And that needs to be put right.
Using £100,000 of my own money, I've managed to buy £1 million of debt belonging to nearly 900 people in South Wales.
Here's to it.
Thank you. I'm not good at keeping secrets at all, so to keep it for 2 years is quite hard. Everyone was talking about the cost of living crisis and the fuel heating bills going up and that kind of stuff. So we knew it was going to be a tough time for a lot of people. It became more and more urgent, really, what we were covering and what we were trying to tackle. The thing that we were worried about was that people need credit. People need access to this kind of credit and this kind of help at certain times. And if you're, you know, in a low-income household and you feel like your options are very limited, and then those options get taken away because they're deemed to be the bad guys, and you're kind of left not knowing what to do, then the danger is that you start going to even more extreme circumstances, and that's what we were starting to see happen with loan sharks appearing more again.
There was a young lad, about 19, 20. He borrowed £500 and he ended up paying back £5,500.
Wow. I was quite shocked by some of the things they will do to get their money back, you know, whether that be threats, you know, an arm broken, smashing windows, taking cars, or, you know, some of the stories we told of people being taken up into woods and told to dig their own grave.
There's a lot of myths about, oh, well, if you're in debt, it's because you're paying for things you don't need, and, you know, and it's their own fault. Well, we talk to people in this film where you get to know, you know, the sort of person who might be in this situation. Of course, it's anybody, really, and increasingly more and more so because of, you know, what everyone's going through. Well, these are people who are working really hard and are really resilient and are just finding it really difficult once they do, you know, dip under to come out the other side again. I think there needs to be transparency from the banks about who they're lending to, and more importantly, who they're not lending to. And I think there really does need to be a real motivation for the banks to be able to support the more, what we would call fair and responsible credit providers, the alternatives, so the credit unions and the CDFIs, and the ones who are out there, what I call the good guys. So anything that makes the banks help the better options for people would be brilliant, and that's what it seems like the Fair Banking Act could do. So, but it does need to come from government, because the banks aren't going to do it unless they're made to, because, you know, they're looking out for their shareholders and all the rest of it. You have a legal obligation as soon as you buy someone's debt to let them know immediately that, you know, who owns it. If you're watching this, then that means you've just received a letter saying that personal debt belonging to you is now owed to a different company. Well, that company is mine. I'm writing all that debt off. And so when we sent out those letters, we tried to make sure that there was a way for them to then get in touch with us. And to let them know that the debt had been written off. But, you know, obviously in hindsight, you kind of realize that, of course, I wouldn't do that because I'd be scared that it was a scam. And so it was quite difficult to get in contact with people. But ultimately, that wasn't the point. I'm hoping that the work that we're doing through the documentary, by people watching it, that it creates a sort of momentum to get change to happen that will help, you know, many, many more people. So helping the 900 was hopefully a way to help those 900 people, but also to get to creating change that will help, you know, millions.